Welcome to The Roofer Show with your host, Dave Sullivan. You found the podcast that helps roofing contractors grow their businesses, make more money, and have more free time.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the Roofer Show podcast, the place to be if you want to grow a more profitable roofing business. I'm your host, Dave Sullivan, the roofer coach, and sitting next to me is John Delorier, Savannah, Georgia. What's going on, John? And by the way, Happy New Year. I haven't talked to you since we got through the holidays, so this is just coming out right after the first of the year. What's going on?
Lots of stuff. Busy holiday, busy New Year. A lot of things happening in my world, but we're here today.
All right. Well, good stuff. Well, what we've been doing is, and I'm just going to kind of jump into this because this is a great show. It's just going to be the two of us, and we're going to talk about what we're really going through in our coaching and have been, which is getting your plan together for 2025. And a lot of times it's like pulling teeth. You know, we have on our website, theroofershow.com, which is the one-page business plan. And this thing is, you definitely want to download this. It's a free download. You just go to the site and take a look at it. It's basically condensed questions that get asked. You provide the answers, and it really lays out a basic business plan on what you're going to do for this year. What's been going on? What have you gone through? Where do you stand? What do you have to work with? And what's the plan? And that's what we're going to kind of get into. Well, we're definitely going to get into that today. I've got a new, it's just an addition to some of the things that we're doing. And I think it's really going to be helpful for guys when we get into the planning. So that's what I do. I do business planning, put this together. And if you don't have a plan, a written plan, none of this, oh yeah, I'm kind of thinking about this. You need to have a written, organized business plan that you can have clear in your mind, that you're reviewing as it goes through the year. And also what's really important is you want to have a plan that you can go over with your team and show them where your business is going. You know, hey, we're going over to that mountain, guys. Everybody line up and let's make sure we get there. I am going to guide you and get you there in the most efficient way, the safest way. We're not going to have all these screw ups, and you know, I know how to avoid all the stumbles and so forth, but I need to have all you guys rowing in the same direction, man. And that's how you get alignment. Everybody's on board, and you can't do it alone. And if you try, you know, you've got to build a team that is going to take responsibility. You hold them accountable and be absolutely crystal clear where we're going. And that's what leadership is about. And people that want to work for a business, a company where the leader is leading. You know, we've got leadership. And it is so important. And this is what our planning is all about. And, you know, we talked about this a lot of times before. You know, I was a roofing contractor for 30 years, man. I had 20 years. Finally, I got smart and hired a business coach. And what we did is we put together this business plan every year. We had a retreat. This is a large company. Brought all our key people away for the weekend. And we just dug into this and built that out every year. And it was night and day. This is the success that I had in my business because we had business planning. And I had somebody that kept my feet to the fire, held me accountable, and we reviewed this all the time. Because as we know, as Mike Tyson says, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And things change all of a sudden, and there's a lot of getting punched in the mouth in this business. John, I'm doing all the talking as usual. What do you think?
Well, I'm excited because we talk about a lot of things, and we talk about coaching. We talk about, you know, knowing your numbers, sell work, do work, keep score. But before we hit record, you showed me the new tool that you have, and I think it's awesome. It's super interactive. You get instant gratification or instant a result of some kind. And so you know kind of where you stand by answering these questions. It's yeah, I'm excited to go through it. I think that people that are watching and listening, they need to get a part of this, because this is something that it doesn't take a tremendous amount of time, but it's a tremendous result to see where you stand on your readiness to move forward and grow and be more profitable, all the things we want to do as company owners. This is a great tool to help you, and you should do it probably every year, maybe every 6 months even, because it just asks all these questions that we need to answer on a regular basis.
Well, let's jump into it. What this thing is, it's a free download that I have, and I haven't quite got it set up yet, but I've got the download. So the easiest way to get a copy of this for free is just send me an email at dave@theroofershow.com. I'll send you a copy, no BS along with it. I'm not going to sell you anything, whatever, but you want to check this out. And actually, I'm redoing our website right now, which is all, it's probably 10 years old when I did it. And, hey, I'm retired, man. I do just work with a few contractors, and I don't spend a lot of time with the website. So I need to revise this thing, and I'll have it on there, but I don't yet. So just email me if you like this, and I think you will. I think you'll get a lot out of it. Everybody should do this. It's a no-brainer. So let's jump into this. We're going to just do a screen share.
So as we start this, Dave, tell people how they can text you, and we'll do it again at the end, but tell people how, if they want this, what's your number for them to text you? Because that's how I reached out to you years ago.
That's true. Yeah, you can text me at 510-612-1450. Just drop me a text with your email, and I'll email this to you. But you're right, that's probably the easiest way. And texting is always the easiest way to get in touch with people, because they actually see it and they look at it, not like emails. So good point. Thank you for that. So we ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay. So the way this works, and the way that I believe you need to run your business, as I say, on a holistic approach. And it involves so much. Personally, you're building a business for really two reasons. One is to provide you a great lifestyle for you and your family, okay, and a business that you enjoy. But at the same time, you're building in value to a business, and you're building an asset that you can eventually sell or have options to sell at the end of this road. And it is really sad, because I would say 80% of the contractors that I work with, I mean, and this is where the 80-20 rule really comes in, 20%, and that's a high number, are going to be successful. The 80% are just not going to make it. And if they do, they're, get the crap beat out of them over 20, 30 years, whatever that you're doing. And you get to the end of that road, and you haven't built any value into this business, okay? Nobody wants it. And they end up just closing the doors, because to have value in a business, you have to be able to step away, and the thing runs on its own. This is why we talk about the 2-week vacation all the time. If you can't take a 2-week vacation, you don't have a business. You've got a job. So what we talk about is, how do we build that out? How do we get that? Number one, with all our clients, we always start, okay, here's the goal, that you're going to take 2 weeks off this year. Where are you going to go? When are you going to do it? And that's what we're looking at. There's a clear-cut goal. So anyway, you'll get the point when we start going through this. But I'll just take a quick run through, and this is the starting point. Where are you today? We have to know what we have to start with. Where have we been? Where have we come from? And this is why I always talk about, first thing we want to do, get your financial statements together, and let's take a look at 3 years. Hopefully you've got these in order and you've got them at your fingertips, and we can look and see what's happening. What's the trend? Are you growing your business? Are you becoming, more importantly, more profitable as time goes on? Are you building this brand? So this is the starting point. This is where we start. Then we get into personal finance, education, and training. Hey, you're doing this, running this business as a business, so you can benefit, that you can have a good lifestyle. And you need to always be learning, and you need to be getting training. This is what's so important. This is why you get a coach. This is why you go to conferences and so forth. Then we come down to business structure. Your structure. What does that org chart look like? Your organization chart. It's just nilly-willy for most companies, where they hire somebody here because it's their cousin's uncle's brother, this and that. And the next thing you know, you got overlapping responsibilities and so forth. The way I look at it is, okay, you got a $3 or $4 million business. Okay, you got all these people running around. Now, if I was to start that business, I would start off with, okay, for a $3-4 million business, what do I need to run this efficiently? And those are the positions. Well, you're going to need some sales. You're going to need somebody in the field. You're going to need superintendent of some kind. Okay. You need to have your numbers. So, your finances in order. So this is the three-legged stool. You've got to sell work, do work, keep score. This is how we structure our business. And one of the problems that I see, you got too many people for the amount of business that you're doing. You're paying too much money for this overhead, and you've got this anchor that's just not going to allow you to grow. And you've got to look at that. And this is what leadership is. Leadership is first off, is determining the positions. As they say in EOS, getting the right seats on the bus. Okay. What are those seats? Now we got to put the right butts in those seats. And that's what we're talking about. We want to have the best person. And it's like a football team, man. You're always trying out. You have to consistently do the job, take responsibility, be held accountable, make things happen. And too often you got guys that are just, and my experience, John, you can tell me what you think because you've had a lot of guys, in your business before, but I've always waited too long to get rid of somebody. I just know it wasn't a good fit. Here's this cancer running around talking shit about the business and so forth. And it spreads. You've got to clean that out. And usually when I let somebody go, I find out that it's like, what the hell have you been doing this whole time?
What a relief. I mean, what a relief that this person, if they were, a cancer or they just weren't performing, I remember this has definitely happened to me. I've definitely hired people and waited too long to fire them. And it's a massive weight off your shoulders because you're like, oh, this is not something you need to work with people who make your life better and make the company's team better. Not anyone, if they're lacking to do those two things, they need to be let go quickly.
I agree. And then I always find out, I go, we haven't skipped a beat. I've got one less person here and we're running even more efficiently, and everybody's doing their job. So that's our structure and leadership. Financial management, we'll get into that. I mean, that's a no-brainer. However, that's where the problems usually lie, is in that third leg of the stool, which is the scorekeeping, the financial end, the bookkeeping, financial statements, being able to read these once a month and going through this. This is why I started up, a portion of this business. The coaching business is called the Roofer CFO. It's a fractional CFO, which is me, because I've been doing this forever and I'm pretty damn good with numbers, I'll tell you. So it's having somebody coming in just occasionally. Generally, it's reviewing the financials, making sure the cash flow is straight, making sure that you're running your business and keeping score correctly. So that's what we had there. Marketing and sales. Obviously, nothing happens until somebody sells something, and you can't sell anything unless you got leads, lead flow. So we'll talk about that. Then we've got operations and production. Okay. And that's our second leg of the stool. Sell work, do work. Okay. Scorekeeping, third leg. Now, what we got here is the idea of this is hopefully you've got yeses for everything. And that's ideally if you're doing these things or not. And if you got no, and this is why it's so important to answer honestly. This is for you. So you get a score and it gives you a percentage of yeses and nos. And down here you can see, hey, if you got 80% above, you're running a great business. Okay. You need some fine tuning perhaps. You get down below that, maybe you got a solid foundation, but there's a number of areas that need improvement. If you're below 65%, which is pretty much where I find, unfortunately, a lot of contractors, they need some real help. So let's just get into the numbers. You ready to do it, John?
Let's do it.
What do you think? What do you tell me what you think? Because you've never seen this. And as we talk about in our mastermind groups, this is a great example, okay? And we were talking about this earlier, where you just want to have somebody, you got to have somebody to bounce ideas off of and have a community, have a camaraderie of people that you can talk to and get ideas and so forth. And this is why I love the podcast. This is why I do this. I love having guests on. I can always be learning. So, yeah, so John, what do you think? We got this thing set up so far, so good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's just bounce in through these things. Okay. And we got yes or no, and get a copy of this. I just sent it out to our email list, which is also something that you should do. You should get on our newsletter list to send out all kinds of good stuff. But I just sent this out and this morning, and I've had a lot of downloads, okay, on this. A lot of people have picked this up. But what I was going to say on this one-page business plan, for instance, there's probably been, I don't know, 2,500, 3,000 downloads on this one-page business plan. Simple. But I know that 80% of the people just never took the time to do it. They downloaded, oh, this is a great idea, but hey, my hair's on fire and I got all these problems, and they never fill it out. So get this thing. This is half an hour, okay? It's not going to take any time, but it's going to give you a pretty good idea of what it is. And this is running a holistic business and personal finances, how everything ties in. Because if you're not taking care of your family, if you don't have a good home life and a good balance, you're screwed. It's not going to be good. You want to have, well, you want to be able to enjoy all this stuff, man. Okay. So there's where we always start. Okay. Have you deeply thought about and clearly defined your why as a business owner? Why the hell are you doing this? Okay. What's our why? Where's our destination? You know, usually the answer I get is, oh, yeah, I want to scale this business and I want to have this big company and I want to pound my chest and blah, 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 blah. I go, well, hold it. You just had twins, man. You got all these kids. You want to do that? You ain't going to spend any time with your family. So what's it going to be? You got to have balance. Don't you think, John? I mean, we talk about this all the time. This is the starting point. And if you don't understand your why, your destination, you cannot come back and build a roadmap to get you there. Thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So this question you should spend a lot of time on. You should probably talk to your spouse. You should probably just sit and ponder this one for days and days and days, if not weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is how I define it. It's what do you want your days to look like? What do you want your weeks to look like? Your months, your quarters, and your years. You need to really nail that down to your most ideal future. And that should be your why.
Right.
I want to look like this. I want to spend this much time with my family, go to the soccer games, all those things. You have to define that for yourself. Um, and if you don't do that, all the rest of this really doesn't make any sense because a lot of people know that a lot of wealthy people know that if you don't, you can make as much money as you want, but if you don't have good family life, it really takes away from any success that you may have had financially. And so this is
Right.
why this whole You need to think about this. You can't just be, I mean, I was desperate for money. I needed to make money. I get it. We want to make money. We want to grow. We want to make a bunch of money. I get it. But it will be meaningless if you are not aligned with your why on a consistent basis.
Agreed. And really, it's what's your definition of success? Because everybody has a different meaning, what it means to them. And this is why, you're right about just really taking some time, go to the beach, sit here and think about this. What do I really want out of this? Okay. Because I would say, your business, you got a blank canvas. You can draw anything you want. Okay. And what do you want this business to do for you? And that's the key question. So these are the things, the starting point. We've got to start there. And, as they say, hey, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. It doesn't matter. But you're going to end up somewhere else. So why do you want to do that? Think it through and get started. Okay. Next, and I'm going to buzz through these things. Do you feel confident and in control of your business? Well, oh, sure I do. Well, no, most people don't feel that way. They don't have the confidence really in, do I really know what I'm doing? Or, it's called the imposter syndrome. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I tell everybody I am. I'm worried that, about this and that. And, is your business in control? You know, yes or no? Okay. Do you feel work on your business? Do you feel you work on your business rather than in it most of the time? You've heard that saying. Do you feel good about your work-life balance and prioritizing your time? And the big one, can you take a 2-week vacation without your business falling apart? If that answer is no, you don't have a business, you've got a job. Okay. And you've got to be able to step away from your business and have it still run and produce for you. Otherwise, how's somebody going to buy it? Because there's no value without you. So, big one there. Have you reviewed your past financial statements to understand the trends and the growth and profitability? Yes or no? Do you have confidence in your estimating, markup, and pricing? This idea about, oh, well, everybody else charges X number per square. That's a load of crap. That has nothing to do with your business. What are your costs and understanding this? Markup, your estimating, so important. Personal finance. Okay.
It's getting dirty now, Dave. We're talking
Yeah,
about real
man.
stuff. So,
This is
so
right.
just to back up on the big concept of this entire thing, you have to be honest with yourself. Nobody's watching you. This is
Yep.
not some teacher is going to grade you at the end. This is your grade that you give yourself. And the more honest you are with all these questions, if you even have a slight inkling of no, put no, because it just gives you an opportunity to improve that for yourself, for your family, for your business. So be honest. These are hard things. We're getting, real personal right now. So you've got to do these things, and maybe you say no, but you don't see the value in it. That's fine, but you still need to be honest with it so that you understand, these things are important for everyone.
Mhm. This is what business is all about. This is what life is all about. This is what's important. Hey, I was 30 years as a contractor, and starting off, obviously a lot of mistakes and didn't understand all of this until I really got into it. It is everything. Okay. And the reason why you have to make money, okay, why you have to take a regular salary, why this is all part of it, because these things right here. Do you have a retirement account that you contribute to regularly? You know, yes or no? Do you have life and disability insurance? Okay, well, what's going to happen if you fall off the roof and you're disabled? You have a far higher chance of being disabled
Six times
as you
more likely.
do. Thank you, John. Tell us a little more about that, because this is something that I think is so important. I had a huge disability insurance policy, and I actually had to use it because I have vertigo, couldn't get on a roof, so it really cut into what I was doing for my job. What do you
Yeah.
think?
So I mean, it's true. I used to be an insurance agent with Northwestern Mutual, and yes, life insurance is super important. I have a lot of it. I want to take care of my family if something happens to me. But disability can mean anything. You don't have to get permanently disabled. If you have not built your team, you're very vulnerable. If you don't have somebody to do every role in your business right now, you're extremely vulnerable to massive financial ruin. So having disability insurance is super important. I've had it forever. I'm never getting rid of it because you are 6 times more likely to become disabled during your work life. It's just super, super likely. And people think about, oh, this was not going to happen to me. It may even be for a short period of time. But if you didn't have the insurance, you may just lose your house. You lose all of your savings, and your business may go under because you're not able to perform your duties that you need to do to keep your business going.
Definitely. This is one of the 4 Ds. I call them the business killers. The 4 Ds. Here's what will put you out of business fast. One is death. Okay. Obviously. Okay. Death, you're dead. Well, what's going to happen to your family? What's going to happen to the business? Do you have a plan where, your family is going to be able to take advantage of this business that you built up? Okay. You've got to have life insurance. Disability, just as we are talking about, the second D. Third D, divorce. Divorce, you know, what happens? You don't think about this, but you get a pretty damn good chance statistically of getting divorced. And once you've got somebody that splits off that company, because generally you've got community property or whatever, wherever you're at, but the business is gone. It's dead. If you've got somebody that doesn't understand that and want to play with you, they want their money. Okay. Well, how are you going to come up with that? Disillusion is the fourth one. And that is when partners break up, which generally happens just like marriage. Not many partnerships survive. What's going to happen there? Because again, hey, I want my money. Well, how do you buy that out? And we've had podcasts on this. It's very complicated. Or if you've got a partner that becomes disabled, well, he's still getting paid, but he's not productive anymore. So these are the 4 Ds, disability. Let me get back to it. Okay, credit cards. Do you pay them off each month? What did you say, John?
Zero balance. Zero balance. None of these minimum payments. They're completely paid off every single month. I'm definitely guilty of not doing that because we ran out of money. You've got to get to the point where that's consistently done. You do not want to ruin your credit. It's another thing that shows a health of your business. And basically, it's a personal finance control thing. Are you in control of your own personal finances? Are you outliving? Are you spending way more money and you don't be like me and I made this big sale and you're already counting your money before you've been paid and then something bad happens. Don't do that. If you've got the cash, then you can use your credit card, but you want to pay off your credit card balances every single month.
If you've got a credit card balance, you've got cash flow problems. And you better understand that. And it's not, this is knowing the numbers. If you don't understand these numbers, you shouldn't be in business because the likelihood of you being successful is pretty low because most guys will look at their bank account and think that's how much money I got. Well, no, you've got deposits coming in, perhaps. You've got other things. You haven't paid your suppliers. No, that's not how it works. And this is what we teach in the Roofer CFO, how to manage your money and your cash flow and how to understand all this. Okay. Do you own your own home? Well, a lot of guys starting off, maybe not. So you want to, make plans where you're going to own your home because it's a great investment over time. Do you have and review a family budget? Hey, you got to live within your means, as John just said. Do you invest in personal and business education and training? Are you going to classes? I mean, I'm not talking about sitting around going to watching YouTube videos, and spending all this time on Facebook. That's not it. Get some real training. Do you maintain personal friendships outside of business? This, I think, is really important that a lot of guys don't think about. You're going to be out of this business at some point, Or as I say, John, you love this one. It's called, do you have your pallbearers lined up? Okay. Who's going to carry your casket? Do you have six close friends? That's six close friends that you could call upon to carry your casket. It's just a saying, but I think it's so true. You, you know, some people, they don't have more than one or two close friends. Get out and develop friendships. And that's what happens when you work too much. And, it's something that's really important throughout life. Business structure. Are you incorporated? You better be. Do you have a clear organizational chart with defined roles and responsibilities? We talked about that, the organization. Are you always recruiting, always training, and always retaining employees? You need to be doing that because you're going to have churn at some point. So you're always looking for, whether you need them or not, you're always looking for good people because, hey, the football team, I'm always looking for somebody better in that position. Training, provide the training for them. Retaining, this is something that's so important and business owners don't spend the time doing this, is retaining, because we know if we've got a client, it's a lot cheaper to retain that client than it is to go out and find a new one. So that's what that's about. Um, are you a good leader and coach? Because a leader is a coach. And would you want to work for you? I mean, I always think that's a great question. Are you a good boss? Would you want to work for you? Hey, yes or no? Do you have a mentor or coach to hold you accountable for meeting your goals? This is what I do every day. You got to have somebody that's, mentoring you, that's coaching you, that's keeping an eye on things, and where you're bouncing ideas off of somebody that's going to hold you accountable. You want to get to the gym and see some results, get an accountability partner that's going to go with you, that's going to pull your ass out of bed when you don't feel like going. Financial management. Do you review and understand your financial statements monthly? This is something that I rarely see contractors doing, unfortunately. If they get regular financial statements, if they get them, which should be at the 15th of the month, the following month, and do you review them? Most, I don't understand what they mean. I just look at the bottom line. Did I make money or not? No, that's not how you run a business. You're using those financial statements to drive your business. It's the steering wheel. It's telling you what's happening. Not only what happened in the past, what's the trend you're on, but how is this shaping up in your year? So if you get to halfway of the year and you're behind what your goals are, you got a problem. You're going to have to pick that up. So this is something, and again, roofer CFO, what I do is that I meet once a month at the end of the month. I've got a lot of clients that we do this, and I want to meet with your bookkeeper. I want to meet with you, and I want to meet with your CPA, perhaps, not as much as your CPA. The key to this operation is your bookkeeper, having a good bookkeeper. Bookkeepers handle the day-to-day transactions. Those have to be correct. Okay. Your CPA, they file taxes. They generally don't know squat about business. Okay. So when you're looking for advice for these guys, they didn't go to business school. They don't understand that. They fill out tax forms. Okay. John, what do you think?
I mean, absolutely. Yeah. All this is super, super important. I'm just reviewing all of these questions. Again, you got to be honest with yourself. Don't say I'm doing this. Are you really, really, really doing it? Like, are you really, it goes back to the accountability side of things. Are you being held accountable? If this is not your strength, which is most people not their strength, the financial management side of things,
Right.
you need to have somebody like Dave that actually, hold your hand each month and reviews these things. And then if you avoid them, and I'm guilty of this, if you avoid these issues, they just get worse. They don't just go away. So you need to attack these things. This is the hard work of being a business owner, is going through the things that you're deficient at, the things that you are not as good at. You need to have people help you make sure that you do them correctly.
Get training on the numbers. You don't have to be an accountant, but you do have to understand financial statements. You've got a P&L. It's going to give you The P&L tells you what's happened over a period of time. First of the year to year to date. Okay, that's a period of time. Balance sheet, that's a snapshot. Here's where I am today. Okay, I got this much money, and and it's going to tell you what your cash position is. Okay, called a quick ratio. It's simple. What are those current assets that you got, which is cash in the bank and good receivables, not this crap where, it's 90 days out because you're not going to get that money. Those are your current assets, your current liabilities. You got taxes. Okay, pay your damn taxes. Those guys will come out. That want to have real heartache. It comes from taxes. And then what are your payables? Who do you owe money to? And that's a ratio. And this is what we look at. And it's all about KPIs, key performance indicators. That's what we review. And what I do is I train you, I teach you how to understand what the financial statements are telling you, because they are telling you what's going on, and you need to understand that. And particularly the KPIs that we track. It's that quick ratio. I'm looking at the gross profit margin. Okay. What does that look like? What's your overhead running in percentage of sales? Okay. What's your marketing? What are you spending on marketing as a percentage of sales? These are the important numbers, and you need to know these. Okay. Do you track your AR, your accounts receivables, agings? Okay. Like I said, you shouldn't have accounts receivable, man. Hey, last guy off the ladder, pick up the freaking check. Okay. Don't get out there where people owe you money and say, oh, yeah, check's in the mail and blah, blah, blah. And once you get out 60 days, you're in trouble. You get out 90 days, pretty unlikely that you're going to actually get the money, even though they say they are. But you're going to have to end up doing something, negotiating the money down or this or that. You're going to take a haircut. Those are not good receivables. So you need to track this and keep an eye on it every month. I'll teach you how to do that. It's simple. Okay. It's automated. Do you list and compare budget to actual on financial statements? It's a mirror. Okay. Where here's what I'm estimating. I'm budgeting. This is what I hope we're going to be doing. I'm expecting to do. Here's what we actually did. Do those two meld, or do we have variances? Okay, which we're going to have. What are those variances telling us? Well, sales were short. What happened? Why did they? Is this a trend? We got to make that determination. That's why you look at the numbers, and they're just numbers. You have to interpret what these numbers mean. What are they telling you? Is there a trend here? The margins. Hey, the past 3 months, your margins have been slipping. What's going on? We got a problem here. Are you too cheap? Are you not? You got to raise your prices. You need to learn to sell, and you need to get your price. Okay, so those are the things that you need to do. Budget to actual. Do you review and understand cash flow? Cash flow needs, that's quick ratio we were talking about. Cash flow is everything, man. There's a reason why they say cash is king, because it is. And when we talk about this, I've said this 1,000 times, top line numbers, sales, it's for vanity. Okay. Profit is for sanity. That's the real number. It's not scaling your business. It's how much money are you making? Okay. And cash is reality. That's what you actually got going on. So sales is vanity, profit is sanity, cash flow is reality. Okay, so understand cash flow needs. Do you have a banking relationship and a working capital credit line? Well, no, I don't want to be into the bank. Well, you want to have something. One is you want to develop a relationship with a bank. Okay, you're going to need money at some point, perhaps. Let's say and it's not about going and borrowing a car, buying a car. It's about having to fund short-term cash flow issues, which maybe the money's good for whatever reason, but you're going to run into cash shortages. So what are you going to do? Stiff your vendors? No, you've got to pay those bills. And then you got to pay down back that line, but you need to have a credit line. Um, okay. Do you have a bookkeeper familiar with construction accounting? John, we've got Tisha as part of our team. This is part of the roofer CFO. What do you think? How important is this to have somebody that really understands construction accounting, construction bookkeeping, and having that good bookkeeping?
I mean, Tisha is invaluable. I mean, I used to meet once a month. Now we will meet. We do a very short meeting every Thursday, and we just go over the accounts receivable, the accounts payable. That's pretty much that meeting. It's not a huge, in-depth meeting, but how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. It seems real simple, right? You should probably do that every week and double check all your numbers, make sure that it's actual money, not just potential money. You're not just, forecasting the wrong financial status that week. Um, yeah, I think that's massive. Tisha's just created that. She understands this business and she's been working with me for almost 5 years.
And she's been working with me for a few, and a lot of our group uses her. She's a outsourced bookkeeper that also works for QuickBooks, or did, because we got her so busy now. But she was one of the QuickBooks advisors. So when you call in and got a problem, she's the one that answers. You got to understand this, and it's so important. This is not somebody you hired, the girl down the street or whatever, or somebody. This is how you get embezzled also. This Contractors are famous for getting embezzled, stolen money, because they don't understand their numbers, and they don't know if people are taking the money out. And what they do, they set up a fake account. They're getting you to sign these checks. It's going into their account, and next thing you know, you got no cash and you're out of business. Okay. Have you audited your QuickBooks for proper setup? This is something that's rarely set up correctly. When you set up your QuickBooks, do you have your chart of accounts correct? Are you charging for these things? So when you're marking up your jobs, if you've got job costs that are actually down in overhead, you're not marking those up. You're not charging the amount of money that you need. So you've got to have this, and we call it a cleanup. We do this, so often. That's where you start. You've got to start with a solid set of books that's set up correctly. And we do this cleanup. It's not a big deal, but it does straighten everything out, and then you're off to the races. Okay, do you receive financial statements by the 15th and review them with your CPA? As I say, Tisha, she gets them out by the 15th of the month. We all sit down, we review it with the contractor, the three of us go through this stuff. What does it mean? Where are we? The 15th of the month, there's no reason why you shouldn't have these. And if you're getting these things dragged on and on and on, and that's your typical CPA, oh yeah, I'm 3 months behind. Come on, man. This is not a business, all right? So get that straight. Marketing and sales. Nothing happens until somebody sells something. Can't sell anything unless you got a lead. So you got to have lead flow. So have you clearly defined your ideal customer and how to reach them? You got to know who that is. It's not everybody. You want to focus in on your buyer, and you have to understand who that is. And that's where you spend your time. Not a bunch of tire kickers that are never going to buy from you, or that can't afford you. Don't spend time doing that. Have you narrowed your services down to focus on the most profitable core offerings? Can't tell you how important this is. I tell the story about my business. We did residential, we did commercial. My consultant finally came in and said, "Where do you make your money?" I go, "I don't know. We sell roofs. We'll sell anything." Well, it turns out we're losing our ass in residential, and we're making money in commercial, but we're getting dragged down by the residential work. We just weren't good at it. Not that one's better than the other. We dropped that, focused 100% on commercial. Things just took off from there. And that's what I always did, turn it into an 8-figure business. And because we just focused on what we did well, incredibly profitable. That's where do we make our money? Okay, so do we track cost per lead, close rates, cost of customer acquisition, our KPIs for our customers, for our sales. You have to know these numbers every month. This is what we review. If you don't know your close rate, if you don't know what it costs to acquire a customer, what are you doing? Do you have a marketing budget as a percentage of revenue? You just want to know that. Generally, we talk about 5% of sales should be spent on marketing. That number can be all over the place, but we need to understand that and have something that we're going to commit to. This next year, here we are. How much money what are you going to spend on marketing this year to make this thing happen? Things are getting tougher. Probably going to have to spend more. Is your website designed for conversion and optimized for SEO? When we start working with somebody, we always do a website audit. And it's basically, it's simple. It's a program by, I can't think of what it is, Ahrefs. And just come in and it'll run all the back end of your website. Half the time, Google doesn't even know you exist because of that. It's not set up correctly. And it's simple. You start there. It's always starting with a solid foundation. John, you've built 1 million websites. What do you think about this?
I mean, it's essential. This is the storefront for your business. You have to make this excellent. It doesn't have to be the most fancy website in the world, but I'll just say this about websites. It needs to be highly professional. You need to be attracting the whole gamut of your ideal customer. It needs to be, you can do small roofs, you can do big roofs, whatever your situation is, you need to cater that website's visual appearance to the ideal customer. And it needs to be super easy for that customer to contact you. If that's a website form, it needs to be call and text messages. You need to have automations that go out when somebody reaches out to you so that they know how to schedule an appointment. You need to have pictures of your team, pictures of yourself. Nobody cares about pictures of your projects. They need to be on your website, but that's not the number one thing. It needs to be, how do you humanize yourself and your team to connect with another human to be a good fit? Yeah, they have to know, like, and trust you because of your website.
Definitely. Your website is as John says, is a storefront of your business. People are going to come by the storefront. How do you get them to come in? That's the first thing. Get them to open the door. And this is what we talk about on the website. It does 3 things. One, it attracts your ideal customer, and you do that through SEO and all the various things that we're doing. Attracts the ideal customer to come in and find your storefront. Now we've got them they've got to come in. And that means converting those visitors to appointments, period. Okay. Then converting those appointments to sales. That's it. And if it doesn't do that, you're wasting your money. CRM. John, what do you think about CRMs?
All right. So what is the CRM? It's a customer relationship management tool. We talk about these a lot. It's like one of the most common questions. You need to find a CRM that works with your business, that helps you maximize each member of your team. Obviously, I'm a co-founder of Proline, so I am biased to Proline. But some people don't value the same things that we value in all of our customers that we have. And that may be something like, oh, we really just want heavy production. We're going to build all that out. We have a production team. You can do everything you need to do in a roofing business in Proline right now. But if you value communication and you value maximizing follow-ups, making sure that every single lead source gets responded to, you want to get reviews, it all is surrounded by communication. You have to have excellent communication, and Proline is built on a phone system. So everyone is on the same page, and the automations come from those phones. It's really important. Customer relationship management. What do you think it should be for your business? If you want to communicate better, it's Proline, but there's a half dozen roofing CRMs. You need to invest heavily in building that out. to make sure that it fits your needs for your business. A lot of things that are in ProLine are already there. All the templates are already there. You don't have to do anything out of the box, but you do need to spend time becoming familiar and making sure your entire team uses the CRM that you choose.
Check out ProLine. It's really the way to go. There's, as you say, there's a lot of them out there, but set up a demo and you'll see how ProLine's different. I mean, John, I know that you're one of the big cheeses there, but I mean, so many of our contractors that we work with use them. And that's one thing that's great about our mastermind is that we're always discussing the CRM and how it works and how to make it better and optimize it. But it's just the follow-up that's so important. So it's the brain of your operation. This is where you start, is having a good CRM that's set up properly, that is being used, because it doesn't do anything if you're not using it, which is like most contractors. Okay, is your phone being answered quickly and professionally using a pre-qualifying script? It's, if you're rolling these calls over in a voicemail, they're not going to leave a message. They don't think you're going to call them back, and they're right. It's the number one peeve that, buyers of home services has. Contractors don't answer their phone. So, one of our sponsors, Ruby Receptionists, the reason why they're one of our sponsors for so long is because it works. Get Ruby. It's inexpensive. They answer the phone. Leads are getting harder and harder to get by. You pay a lot of money to get that phone to ring. So, have somebody answer it, period, and make sure they're asking the right questions. That's a script, whether you have somebody in-house that's asking this, but get a script and do it. And go check out Ruby. Ruby's great. Ruby.com/roofershow is my link to the thing. They'll take care of you. Check it out. Get a demo set up. They're great. Do you have consistent sales process for inspections and presentations? It's just step by step. Everything's a process. You've got to have the process. Your system's down. Everybody has to do it the same way every time. This is what we talk about, the 2-week vacation. People buy companies because they've already got all this stuff set up, okay? They've got a process. So when they bring in new people, they get them up and running fast and they get them trained. You've got, standard operating procedure manuals on everything. It's so important. And your presentations. What do your presentations look like? Again, you should be using ProLine because it sets up these professional looking presentations. You're going to sell more work. It's simple. Okay. Right. So we're down to, do you collect at least 50 Google reviews with at least a 4.8 rating? I don't know. I just threw in 50, you better have at least 50. I mean, you've got to have a regular process for getting reviews on everything. It makes a huge difference. Google loves reviews. You're going to get more business. People are going to have more trust. John, what do you think about reviews? We talk about this all
50
the time.
is, I haven't checked Google's standards yet, like their underground standards, but 50 actually is a big thing, a big deal. I think the first one is getting 5. So getting 5 reviews is the first thing that allows you to be seen on Google Maps. And then when you really get to 50, I saw a huge bump in our business because our SEO, it's basically free SEO. Your search engine optimization is every day after you get the review, you're going to get leads because you're going to get pushed naturally to the top of the search for whatever keywords you're optimized for. So reviews are great for the short term because you get more leads, but also, like you said, Dave, getting reviews helps you sell your business. It's real value, shows year after year after year that you're a good contractor to choose, and somebody wanting to buy your business is going to look for lots of reviews.
You bring up a great point. Okay. Private equity. Everybody talks about private equity. What are they looking for? They're looking for a business that's well run. It's just not the top line sales. Stop screwing with the top line sales. You've got to make money and build an organization that has value and depth. Okay. And if you've got 300, 400, 500 reviews, there's value in that. You've got a website with great SEO where people are coming there all the time. That has great value. This is how you build out a business. And we always say from day one we build to sell. Okay, and what that means is all of the steps that we're taking along the way, it's all one block of the foundation that's taking you to the sale of your company, where you're building in value. And what that means is that, hey, we're down the road here, and who knows, you want to sell your business to private equity? Great. You want to pass it down to your kids? Great. You still got to have a good business set up and that's going to run without you. And that's a business of value. So, or you just keep on running it. And, that's the way to do it, is you can spin it off so much cash. You can go sit on the beach and, anyway. So build to sell. Okay. Do you track and optimize lead sources monthly? What are your lead sources? Okay. Where's your business coming from? And are they optimized? We talk about a GMB page or whatever it's going to, I always use that, but where you're getting your reviews and you're optimizing this, how do you get more people to come to it? It's going to get you business. If you're in the top 3 of the map pack, you're going to get a ton of business. All right. Do you dominate neighborhoods with signs, postcards, and door hangers? No brainer. You got a job. For every one job in the neighborhood, you want to try to get one additional job. Think about what that means. If you can go down by making sure that you've got job signs, professional, people are coming by in the neighborhood. I always use the example, in my neighborhood, I got my roof done at the same, that summer, there were 3 other roofs done in my neighborhood. They were all done by different contractors. That's crazy. You need to dominate, and that's how you do it. Signs, postcards, door hangers, letting everybody know, hey, we're in the neighborhood. Want us to take a look at your roof? Do you regularly send out a newsletter or some kind of communication with past customers and prospects? Always asking for reviews, always asking for referrals. Keep in touch. They sell their home, they buy a new one, whatever. You're going to get business, and it's simple to do. Just automate it. Operations and production. This is doing the job. Do you have a written workflow for permits, materials, customer communications? The solution to that is you hire SMA. You get virtual assistant from SMA because they will provide you a virtual assistant that takes care of all these things. It's such a great tool to use. So it's SMA.us. And John, you use SMA. What's your take on it? What's the value there?
Yeah, so it's actually, I had to look it up just now, smasupport.us.
Thank you. You're right.
And definitely let them know that Dave sent you. They're awesome. I've used SMA before. They're great. They will not only just pair you up with somebody who can help your actual company, but they will go through your entire process. I believe now it's 3 process calls, and they're going to surprise you on how well they know your business, maybe better than you on certain parts of it that you may not have thought some things through. I was surprised. I thought I had a really good process written down, but they actually really helped improve my process, and it was awesome. I highly recommend SMA for any part of your roofing business.
Here's something that we talked about, as far as organizational structure, where you've got too many people in the office that are running, getting materials, getting permits, doing all these things. SMA, it's amazing. For 2 people, you can get a virtual assistant that's very affordable that handles all this, that does the job of many. It is amazing. And the best part about them is that they hire the person, they train the person, and they manage this person. It's incredible. So smasupport.us, and just talk to them, see what they got. You guys should reach out to all of these vendors and check out what they've got, because the automations of your business, this is the other thing. You've got to have a great tech stack. You don't need to have everything, but you do need to have the basic stuff that gets the job done. Okay, manage, getting materials, returned. And it's a lot of screw ups there. Perform final inspections and closeouts. Okay, do you manage your jobs in progress efficiently? Making these things happen. This is doing the jobs, because there's two ways to make money. One, sell it for more money, or two, do it for less. The best way, obviously, is to sell it for more money, which is you need to be trained in sales, and you can do that. Okay, you get more money for the job. Production's job is to maintain that profit level. So here's what we got for the job. Make sure you don't screw up and you hit those targets. That's the big thing. But you can make a lot of money there if you're running efficiently. Scorekeeping and numbers. Hey, what can I say, man? We've talked about that. Know your metrics to ensure profitability. Do you track job cost? Are you job costing your jobs? Perform a post-mortem analysis on each of the projects. What happened? What went right? What went wrong? How do we improve? Okay. You got to be doing that. Successful contractors, job cost, period. Do you review KPIs with sales, production, and collections? Okay. You've got to review these things with everybody. Do you reconcile invoicing and collections regularly? Okay. Do you get your invoices out? Are you collecting your money? Okay. Do you analyze budget versus actual results every month? Like I say, you've got to have a budget. You've got actuals. What's your variance? That's what you're going out over. Okay. That's it. So simple. I mean, yes or no. Now you come down here and you're going to get a score. And your score is going to tell you how many yeses you've got. Ideally, you've got 100% yeses would be awesome. But if you've got 80 to 90%, excellent. Your business is well run. Focus on the fine tuning. Okay. You're kicking ass. 65 to 79%. Solid foundation, but several areas need improvement. Okay. Great. You know where you stand on a lot of this. If you're below 65%, there's some significant gaps to address. Okay. Start prioritizing action steps today. Get a coach, get somebody that's going to hold your feet to the fire and get it done. All right. So that's it. You can blow through this in half an hour. Text me 510-612-1450. I will send you a free copy of this. And check it out. It's great. Or Dave at theroofershow.com. All right, that's it, John. What do you think, and how can I improve this? Because I always want feedback and from everybody else. Let me know what you think. Feedback's the breakfast of champions, man. You want to give it and you want to get it. So, what do you got for me?
I love this. I think I'd have to go through each question again to make sure that it's asking the right question, but I mean, overall, this is a phenomenal way this is the thermometer of your day today for what is important to you, what's a health of your business, and it exposes things that I know that I had struggles with a long time. And if you treat it the right way, you're honest with yourself, and you take each one of the no's and the failures as opportunities to improve and not like avoid maybe the weaknesses that you may have. If you use this tool, you will be better off in the long run. It may be hard at first, but it is worth doing this on a consistent basis to make sure that your business is as healthy as it possibly can.
Take an honest view of what's going on in your business. I mean, you really need to dig down and don't stick your head in the sand. Don't hide under the bed. Come on, get your act together. If you're going to run a business, get your act together, make it happen. All right. Well, that's it for today. Check it out. Let me know what you think. If you can, go to iTunes, leave us a review, how we're doing, what you think's happening. Or YouTube, go to Dave Sullivan Roofer Show is where you find us on YouTube. Get some communication. Let me know what you think. And also make sure you're subscribed to the channel. All right, I think that's a wrap. John, you got anything else?
We did it all. We won.
That's all there is to it. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week on The Roofer Show.